Well, hello there guys, welcome to another Graviteam Tactics Mius-Front video. We are playing as the Germans here, and we're actually defending against what I think is a major Russian offensive here. We've got 3 or 4 different groups attacking us, and this is really the part of our army that is the least well-armed. They've been through a number of battles. We have managed to get 2 tanks for our tank corps that we're missing, which is pretty awesome, but the other 2 we couldn't manage to get, unfortunately, and hopefully that will help us here in this battle. I don't even know if we're going to have any contacts. I know if we do, we're going to be heavily outnumbered, so we've got to try to get as many kills as possible. Alright guys, infantry contact has come pretty close here. Of course, a lot of our men here do not have trenches because we've been attacked just so rapidly, and we're getting hit very hard from some Russians over here, as you guys can see. Just a tremendous amount of Russians. The exchange of fire is crazy, but really, this is a bit much. They have definitely got us outnumbered here in terms of fire. It looks like we took one of their trucks out, but of course, taking out their tanks is an entirely different thing, and I can certainly see 2 of their tanks right there. So I'm actually going to turn my tanks that way in the hopes that they could spot them, but it's probably a bit too far, short of a kilometer, so I don't think they're going to get a hit, but not bad. So we'll go ahead and at least aim at this point, and we're really doing our best to try and bring down as much fire on the enemy as possible. Let's take a look over here. Alright, we're actually getting some shots on the tanks, and I actually went out and provided some anti-personnel rounds to my men here. I probably should have given them some anti-tank rounds, but the anti-personnel, you can hear it coming in, and that's going to cause some serious damage to the infantry there, as long as it hits the correct areas, of course. Alright, let's pop over to our line, see how our men are doing. I'm actually going to take a look at Andelok. Looks like one of our commanders killed. We've also got some enemy artillery right here. Sort of an exchange here of our mortars, their artillery. Oh! This might be the first time that the Soviets steamroll us, my friends. There comes a time for every army. Say if I die. Hey, that's what they said, right? I know that it's coming from this general area. Ooh, it's really effective. So actually, that's mostly their ordnance. Now, there we go. We do still have some men that are firing, which is making me feel good. But we really need to take out at least one of these tanks. Somebody asked in one of the previous videos, what's so important about the tanks? Well, you know, these tanks are very hard to replace. And each enemy tank we manage to take out really helps us significantly. In fact, I'm even going to move our tanks out because they're not doing any good all the way back here. Come on, Poch. We're going to move them up a bit. However, Poch is calling in some some artillery fire here, so I might actually wait a bit, and actually it's coming in already. We've done a pretty good job at taking out the enemy infantry here, a few of the enemy infantry. I didn't expect us to get such good shots at long range, but it's probably because of the artillery that we got those shots. Let's take a look over here. Colonel Klink once again! Why is he back on the battlefield? I thought he was dead. Guess not. Maybe it's his brother, Gerhard Klink. Oh man. This is as serious as it gets, guys. We've got an entire Russian... Well, first of all, we've got a Russian tank here, number 1, and we've also got a ton of Russian infantry that are attacking us, and all we have are essentially our resources here, our ammunition trucks, etc. And our guys here actually are equipped with MP40s. They can put up a pretty good fight, and it looks like they're taking out a good number here of the enemy infantry, but I don't know how long they can stand. We were actually really surprised last campaign, or I should say last battle, at how hard these guys can actually fight. It's pretty amazing. So there we go. Now what I really want to see are some dead enemy tanks. That's really my main goal. Okay, there we go. Urbacher is actually fighting this tank, which is amazing. He's actually trying to hit this thing. I'm going to support him. Urbacher, keep going that way, man. Why stop now? So we're going to have Urbacher turn this way to the left a little bit and see if he can't take out the enemy tank here. Oh, there we go. That's a dead tank, my friends. That is a dead Russian tank. Yes, it is. Urbacher, good shooting. And of course, it doesn't hurt that we're dropping arty on these guys, and that's doing a tremendous amount of damage. But there we go. That tank, and it looks like that might be an American tank. It looks like a Lend-Lease. Am I wrong? I might be, but that almost certainly looks like an American tank that we took out there. So, really nice there. Urbacher, great shooting, my friend. And we will turn to the right. It was a ride, get it? It was a Nazi joke. You don't understand. Oh, shit. All right, sorry. Sorry, it was the right wing, yeah? 9? Fuck. Yeah, I really wish I should have taken the Russians, but there's nothing I like more than shooting fascists, especially in a game. But in this case, the reason I took the Germans is I really wanted to see what it would be like to defend the Mius-Front, and it is tough. You can see a lot of our infantry units are stuck here behind the lines, but holding off, incredibly, holding off a lot of enemy attacks there. Got 3 tanks on the way. We need Urbacher to be on his best behavior here. We really need Urbacher to get a kill here, so I'm actually going to turn towards the enemy tanks. Olmaya can also bring up as well. And once again, we're going to set targets on those enemy tanks. There we go. I mean, we've got to target these guys. There's no other way to win. He's already turning on his own. Awesome. And actually, Potch never left, really. Always was a bit avant-garde, Potch. Always like to do his own thing, I think. Don't know why. There we go. Alright, so we're going to take Potch and Osman as well. And we're bringing them up to the fight. You know, if the enemy overruns us here, these guys are gone anyway. So I'd rather they have a glorious fight. And I can see why Potch hasn't moved. He's in a nice little trench. But we're moving them out of the trench now. It's enough time for games. Should be able to hit this guy. I'm wondering if maybe the woods are making it a little bit difficult for us to see him. Should be able to open fire. I'm also going to change the trajectory of these rounds. All right, incredible. I think Weidel, excuse me, deserves a medal so far. I mean, they actually held back this assault pretty well, and it didn't hurt that, of course, our tank came in and took out that enemy tank, but we really basically stopped a Russian offensive on this end. And I'm almost wondering if we should move towards Germania and try to take one of their points from them. It almost seems sneaky enough to be worth trying, so I'm going to do that. They're not going to follow my order, though, because these guys are terrified. Come on, the tank is right here. What's wrong with you? Learn from the Russians. Shoot! You guys are cowards sometimes, seriously. Alright, so what I'm going to do is get on the other side of these trees. I'm going to go ahead and basically make a fast move towards the other side of these trees, and we're going to be attacking front. We're going to be attacking these guys from the front. So this is going to be risky, but I think it's worth it. What can I say? No other justification for doing it besides me thinking it's worth it. Obviously, Adalok, Elta, they're all taken out. These guys have made the ultimate sacrifice. Still might have Teppert here in the woods. No, he's also pretty much given up. Enemy contact. Alright, well, we see that tank. The question is, can we hit it? I know we've got enemy forces here in the woods. That's not helpful at all. And they could pose a serious threat to our tanks, believe it or not. These Russians usually have some nice Molotovs, which are more than capable of taking out these Marders. So I'm hoping that we can get to the other side without much difficulty. In fact, I'm going to break left a little bit more. And actually, Weidel is ready to go, so I am going to move Weidel towards Germania. It would be great if we could take a point from the enemy. Kind of unfortunate if Weidel gets killed in this attack, but we've got to make risks here. We've got to take risks or we're not going to win. It's that simple. Urbacher better turn ASAP because the enemy is going to be... enemy tank is going to be right over here, so I want to make sure that he's turned in that direction. It's going to be kind of hard with this terrain. Get on the road, Urbacher. We also know that the enemy has an AT gun. We can see it all the way up there. We don't actually see it. We just know that our communications have reported that it's there. And I have no reason to dismiss their judgment so far. So let's go. Oh, there we go. Urbacher already hit. You guys see what I'm talking about? Right away. Right away. That's what I was worried about. And it's what could happen when you send these guys around this bend, unfortunately. So I'm going to try to still continue here. And we're going to go straight on an assault. Got an anti-tank rifle over here. Fire! Hotch! Definitely a nice ambush here by the Russians. There we go, Potch, don't let them in! It looks like the Russians have also gotten over here. Is Urmak? These crazy Marders. They still keep fighting, even when they're on fire. I love it. They're madmen. But no, this guy's actually taken out for sure this time. We did take the key point of Garani, which is kind of cool. And I'm going to go ahead and try to take the key point of Lugansky. I mean, if they've made it this easy to take Garani, why not take both? Okay, Olmayar. I want you to turn this way. Potch, hold your ground. There's still a lot of enemies over here, and Osman has no tank, so we're going to have to go ahead and just set targets. Did he get a shot? He's getting a shot at that tank. I didn't even see it. Good shot! Olmeyer set it on fire, guys. I don't know if this is a kill, but he's getting hits on it. And that's definitely a Stug 3. I think I'm right on that. Someone correct me. Looks like a Stug 3, but it's a Russian tank. Can't be a Stug 3, right? BT-7. So bad with the tanks. This is why I have you guys to correct me. But yes, we took it out. But it really does look like a Stug 3. It looks like a stolen German tank. Alright, here we go. Incoming fire. Like that. Oh, shit. Alright, they're sending some serious arty here. But there we go, guys. 2 tanks down. I'm happy. Come on, Olmaya, get turned around properly. You're going to get shot. Make sure he turns the right way. There we go. That's more like it. And I want to make sure he's aiming at the tank, specifically. Nice! Alright, Potch and Olmeyer right now. The Marders are holding the enemy back. This is really the only thing saving us right now. Wouldn't even mind bringing some infantry up now to assist these tanks, but they're just so far out. I'm not sure if it's a good idea. You know there's still some enemy infantry behind our tanks, like these guys. Here we go, Olmaya! Olmaya! There's more than one Olmaya. No. This is the guy that distinguished himself in the last battle. What am I talking about? Remember, guys? This is the guy that survived being burned alive. He's re-stabbed his tank, of course, but he's taken some serious hits here. And that might be Olmeyer going down. Yes, it is! The great Olmeyer finally killed by the Russians. Like I said, these Marders with their open backs, I don't understand it. It's terrifying, it's hard to fight in. The enemy can hit us from multiple locations. But all's fair in love and war. Am I right? I think so. I'm going to drop it right on my position. And this is hoping that the enemy doesn't flank us from behind. Alright, we're going to actually reverse. The enemy's getting very close now. There we go! Oh, enemy grenade! I knew that was going to do some serious damage. And it looks like our crew is still alive, incredibly, but I don't think they're going to be alive for long. We're going to have to motor on through with Potch if he's not dead, but he is in fact destroyed and dead. Like I said, guys, the Russians were going to go ahead and run us over this round, and they did. I'm surprised we actually managed to take out 2 tanks. That's pretty great, but obviously not enough here. And this might be a position where we do run away. We do flee, which is not something we've done so far. Alright, so I'm going to try to inflict as many casualties as we can on the remaining forces. They're probably going to try to push on this location. And wow, look at that! That was beautiful! The enemy's burning tank, and this happens quite often, just blew up and killed about 4 of the enemy infantry there, including a commissar. You've got to love it. It happens all the time in this game, and I think it's one of the ultra-realistic things about these titles. Just look at all that shrapnel around that tank. You know, that shrapnel has to go somewhere, and if it hits you, you know, at 700 feet per second, you're dead. There's nothing that's going to save you. Alright, so we've also got a lot of good kills over there. I mean, overall, I think, considering what we had here, we did alright. We could still save our support corps here, or we could try to be really, really, you know, really try to push the envelope and try to take Luganski and hold this area and force the enemy to ask for a ceasefire. I don't know if it's possible, but I'm going to try. And in the meantime, I'm going to defend Luganski. Alright, guys, let's get a little look at the battlefield here. Where did the crew return? Oh, to Vite. And there we go. That tank keeps exploding, and it's, trust me, it's going to keep creating casualties. So we know the enemy infantry is walking by it. But we absolutely annihilated that tank. Sadly, Urbach or Poch. So many good German tankers taken out in this battle. Poch tank looks like it's in perfect condition. It's just the crew that's destroyed. The same with Ohlmeyer. So I hope that the enemy doesn't take these tanks. I do believe they can take them and man them themselves. That would be pretty scary. Still think that this is going to help us tremendously, and I'm almost certain now it's an American tank, but especially with the gun on top. At the same time, you know, this is definitely a step back, but this is only the beginning of the campaign. We've got a lot of reinforcements on the way, a lot of different things we can do here, and it looks like the enemy's finally found us at Luganski, and they're going to put up a fight, you better bet. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to hope we can defend against it. It looks like we already killed a commissar here. Nice work, boys. Vital. Is that everywhere, Vital? Vital. Like, everywhere. Seriously, guys. There we go. Holy shit. No, that's the enemy firing on us. Throwing some Molotovs. More grenades. Oh, my goodness. Come on, guys. You gotta fight back. We did just kill 2 commissars, though. You can see those flags, which is really great. Basically just sniped 2 of their commanders. And we are getting some shots. Nice. Keep it up, boys. Save or die like true Germans in the field of battle. Straight to Valhalla. So you can see more Russian tanks. 1, 2, 3 Russian tanks that are still in this battle. They're just ripping right through the foliage, the fences. They don't give a damn. Look at this. And I'm almost certain that's a German tank stolen by the Russians. It has to be, right? I've got to be right on this, or I'm just crazy. Right now, they are terrifying us with those tanks. I think it's pretty certain that our men have been killed here. Luckily, our men rarely give up. That's one positive aspect here. But they totally burned us out of this Dachau, which with some well-placed Molotovs. Interestingly enough, their Molotovs occasionally hit them. But as you can see, that's our German soldier right there, on fire. But that Russian's proud of himself. And I'm almost certain that it's time to accept defeat. And as you can see, our men are still fighting. They're putting up the final battle, and we might as well, right? We're going to keep the final battle going. We're still getting a lot of kills here on enemy infantry units. The tanks are going to eventually wipe us out, but we might as well do our part. Linka! Nice shot! One of them just went down right there, guys. Our riflemen are still firing very well. This is a machine gun team, so taking this out would be preferable. Actually, no, sorry, that's a regular infantry team, but I do want to get the DPS-HK. It's just a really, really vicious little machine gun. No point in aiming at the enemy tanks, because we're not going to get any kills. But any Russian soldier that passes out in front of us is going to get hit, and we're... Do we have mortars? That looks like a mortar. We'll see if it explodes. I don't know what that was. Unless it's the enemy mortar. Could be. Yeah, I hear mortars. I told you. I definitely heard something. And there we go. Urbacher's tank might have just killed some Russians. Once again, those exploding tanks, you gotta love them. It's just basically like an IED in the middle of the battlefield. With Urbacher's death, 3 Russians had to also die. You can even see the little bit of armor there that killed them. Did we get a 3rd tank I didn't notice? Wait a minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No, that can't be right. I was about to say. Got all excited there for a moment. Don't let them get to our line, men. Langnecker. This is where the Soviets are right now. Just taking a look at their perspective. I actually want to see how far along the line are. So I'm going to look at it from their perspective. Their farthest point. And this is what they're looking at, of course. This is exactly what they're looking at. So they don't actually expect us to have much here, and we don't. But the few things we have here are still deadly, and they could still kill them. Alright, there we go. A few more Soviets by our lines, and the smoke is really helping them get through. So our men cannot spot them. Smoke, artillery, a lot of bad things coming our way. Incoming. It's definitely incoming artillery. And they're not kidding around. Come on, keep up that fire. Keep it up. The Russians are in the open. Don't be afraid to shoot, men. Don't be afraid to shoot. I don't want you shooting at the enemy tanks. There's no point, but still, good hustle. Good hustle. Just try to take out as much infantry as we can. Remember, they can have as many tanks in the world. If they don't have the infantry to support those tanks, it's not going to be a problem. So I'm trying to take out as many commissaries. That's why you guys have probably noticed in this series, I've done my best to try and destroy the enemy officer class as much as I can. And to that effect, we've done a very good job. One officer there, we had 2 officers down there that we killed. That's really what we're trying to do, is just utterly annihilate their officer class. Don't forget that before the war, Stalin purged a lot of the best commanders from the Russian army. So obviously or the Soviet army, excuse me. So obviously trying to whittle that down even more is really going to be of help. That, in my opinion, is the most important thing. Second to tanks is destroying officers. Why can't these trucks have machine guns built into the front? That's what I want to know. He was so perfect. There we go. There we go. We still got a machine gunner here who is doing his job. Keep it up, man. Watch this, man. This is somebody you must remember. Oh, no. No, don't be a coward. Zuka, what are you doing? You were doing so well there a moment ago. At some point, we do have to know when to surrender, too. That's something we need to eventually accept. So I'm actually going to go ahead, and I am going to withdraw. That's right. Our retreat time is going to take 4 minutes, so it's not a short retreat, and there's a reason for that. You know, the enemy has overwhelmed us. When you try to retreat, when the enemy's right on top of you, it's going to take a lot longer, and the enemy's going to have much more time to really just show you a lot of hatred in this case. And look at that glorious Soviet charge. Got to give it to the Russians. Their Soviet charges, sometimes they fail miserably, sometimes they work incredibly well, and this is an example of one working incredibly well. It doesn't matter that there are dead troops from previous battles here. These men move on with bravery and are taking our positions with little issue, really. Come on, men. Fight with what you have. Men are also low on ammunition, which is a bit strange since these are ammunition-carrying troops. There we go. Oh, incoming fire right on our truck. That's definitely enemy mortar fire incoming on our position. At this point, I really just don't want to lose any captives. That would be something embarrassing. Look at these tanks. I mean, there's no doubt, guys, the Russians are on the move. We do have a few more tanks that we can bring in a battle that I've held in reserve, but we're going to need to employ them against this Russian armor over here. And it worries me very much. Look at that beautiful red star on the side. You've got to love that. It makes me want to play the Russian campaign right now. Gotta finish one campaign at a time. Alright, they're definitely trying to destroy us with a mortar fire there, softening up our trench lines. Pretty good idea. I would still be scared to hell if I were one of these Russians. Just imagine. One of them is pretty panicked. but I will be curious to see what the kill count is at the end. Yeah, they totally took out Zucker. At this point, they are on our trench line. There's no doubt about it. The best thing that can happen right now is friendly fire, is that their mortar fire actually ends up taking out some of their infantry. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh! You know, that's just a flare knowing, letting us know where they are. It would be funny, though. Hey, look at that! Look at that! There's some friendly fire there, not bad. I don't think it actually got any hits, but it was close enough. It might have gotten one hit. I see one guy down right there. There we go, guys. It was a defeat, and an understandable defeat in this case. We actually lost... We killed 32, we lost 26. Sorry, we lost 32, we killed 26. In this instance, we did do more casualties than the enemy because they have 22 wounded. But that also means that they were able to save a good percentage of their men after this battle, which is interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the operations map and see what we can do next. Alright guys, so here we are at the operations map, and of course now we have to end our turn. That was the only attack this turn, actually. So now I'm going to go ahead. There's a few movement things I want to do, movement-related things, as well as things related to giving guys anti-tank. We definitely want anti-tank for Lieutenant Buxbaum, and a few other units. We're going to probably try to give some anti-personnel, perhaps to Lieutenant Oberauer. Anti-tank. I'm really going to focus on a lot of anti-tank, because we know that the enemy is going to basically have a tremendous amount of armor in these frontline battles. Now, I do want to eventually attack, and in fact, we need to attack, so this might be a decent time to go for it. We've got this tank right here, Burbom. We could hit, try to hit this enemy reinforced point with all of these guys, Musmüller, Abzug, Braun, Gutz, but I'm not so sure it's a great idea. I'm thinking we might want to go ahead and wait one more turn and build up our, try to sort of win a few more battles before we go on the offensive, weaken the enemy troops. At least that's what I think should be done. You guys will have to obviously tell me if you think that's a good idea. But let me know, guys, and we will continue in the next turn. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and have a glorious, glorious day. I'll also give you guys a rundown of the operation statistics. 87 killed on our side, 211 killed on the enemy side. And in terms of the heavily wounded, obviously ours are nowhere close to theirs. So pretty well. We're doing pretty well so far, I think. They've lost 9 tanks. We've lost 16 tanks, but they've lost 5 APCs and trucks. Or excuse me, we've lost 5 APCs and trucks, 16 tanks, so overall they've definitely taken out more of our armor than we have up there, so that needs to stop fairly soon. Thanks a bunch, guys. Take care. And as you can see, this is only 16 hours from the start of the operation, so all of the battles in this campaign you guys have watched have all worked together. They've all happened in that 16-hour period. Just imagine all of those casualties in that time, all of those battles going on at once. I mean, no wonder the Eastern Front is absolutely just crazy. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and have an awesome day.